morning, dear students. Take out your English literature books and turn to page number 88. Unit 10, Owl and the Moon. So children, today I am going to explain you the story Owl and the Moon, written by Arnold Lobel. Children, Arnold Stark Lobel was an American author of children's book. He wrote many picture books as well as fables for children. Now let's begin the understanding of the story. The Owl and the Moon. So children, as the name suggests, the story is all about an owl and the moon. In this story, the owl and the moon are very good friends. So now let's read the story. One night, Owl went down to the seashore. Children, went down means to move to a lower place, and seashore is a beach. Okay, so one night the owl went down to the seashore. He sat on a large rock and looked out at the waves. Children, looked out means looked very attentively. Looked out means to pay attention. So he was sitting on a large rock and looking at the waves. Everything was dark. So the owl felt a little sad. So children, do you know why the owl felt sad? Because he was alone. He was sitting alone on a large rock at night. So he felt a little sad. Just then, the owl saw a small tip of the moon came up over the edge of the sea. Children, a small tip means a small part of the moon. Just then, the owl saw a small part of the moon came up means arises. Okay, arises over the edge of the sea. Edge of the sea means the farthermost point of the sea, the place where it looks like the sea and the sky are touching. Owl kept on watching the moon as it climbed higher and higher into the sky. Climbed up means it went up. Okay, so owl was watching the moon. It was climbing higher and higher into the sky. Soon the owl could see the whole round shining moon. Owl sat on the rock and looked up at the moon for a long time. Then the owl said, "If I am looking at you, moon, then you must be looking back at me. We must be very good friends." So here we get to know that the owl want to be friend with the moon, because on this lonely dark night there was only the moon the owl could see. But the moon did not answer. But owl said, "I will come back and see you again, moon. But now I must go home." Owl walked down the path. He looked up at the sky. The moon was still there. The owl thought that the moon was following him. Then the owl said, "No, no, moon, it is kind of you to light my way, but you must stay up over the sea where you look so lovely." So children, here the owl thought the moon is following him. Following means he thought the moon is coming behind him to light his way. Okay, but it was not like that. Wherever you go, you can see the moon. Actually, the moon was not following the owl, but the owl thought the moon is following him. So he said that no need to follow me, I can go home alone. The owl said that it is very kind of you, but you must stay here over the sea where the moon looks so lovely. Then the owl walked on a little farther. Walked on means he was continuing walking. Okay, so the owl walked on a little farther. Then again he looked at the sky. There he saw there was the moon coming right along with him. The owl said to the moon, "Dear moon, you really must not come home with me. My house is small. You will not fit through the door. And I have nothing to give you for supper." Children, supper means the last meal of the day. As it was night, so what the meal that we take at night called? It's dinner. So the owl said to the moon that no need to come along with me. My house is small and you cannot get inside my house as the door is very small, and the owl had nothing for dinner to offer to the moon. So he was insisting the moon to not come along with him. Owl kept on walking. The moon sailed after him over the top of the trees. Children, sailed after him means the moon was moving quickly and smoothly along with the owl over the top of the trees. Owl thought the moon could not able to hear him what he was trying to say to the moon. So Owl climbed up to the top of a hill and he shouted as loud as he could, "Goodbye, moon." Slowly the moon went behind some clouds. Owl kept on looking at the moon. The moon was gone behind the clouds. Although the owl asks the moon to not to come along with him, but it is really hard for the owl to say goodbye to his friend. Owl came back to his home. He put on his pajamas and went to bed. Children, put on means to wear. He wear his pajamas. Pajamas are the dress that we wear when we go to bed. Okay, it is a light, soft and comfortable dress. The room was very dark. Owl was still feeling sad. Children, why the owl was feeling sad? Because it is dark again and the moon was not there. Suddenly, Owl's bedroom was filled with silver light. Owl looked out of the window, and what he sees? The moon was coming out from the clouds. "Oh, moon, you have followed me all the way home to cheer me up. What a good friend you are," said Owl. So, children, what happened here? When the owl was feeling low and sad, and it was dark everywhere, and the owl was left all alone, suddenly he saw the light of the moon filled his room. He was very happy and he exclaimed out of happiness. The moon was really following the owl. So, children, although the owl asked the moon not to follow him, but the moon realized why the owl was sad and he continued following the owl throughout his way to cheer him up. The moon was really a very good friend. A real friend always cheers you up. A real friend always wants you to see happy. They know when you are sad and when you are happy. Without saying a word, they are always there to help you out, like the moon. So, children, the owl was very happy as his friend, the moon, followed him and he came over to cheer him up in the lonely dark nights. The owl then put his head on the pillow and closed his eyes. The moon was shining down through the window. The owl did not feel sad at all.